Today on WBTV, we're going to be talking about Avengers Phase 4 videos and what's coming up, because there's a lot of stuff coming up, folks. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I think it was last week or the week before, Marvel announced all of the Phase 4 movies between July 9th, 2021 and no release date sometime in 2023. I think there's a total list of, let me count it out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 movies that we got here. So without further ado, we're just going to go through, talk about our opinions of this, talk about what we're looking at. So yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, I guess initially my first thought upon seeing this list is like, okay, we're finally getting Black Widow on July 9th. Like, hopefully that's not going to change. Hopefully that is set in stone after they delayed it twice from when they had it originally to May and then to June and then June to July. But either way, hopefully that's set in stone. We'll finally get Black Widow. But moreover than that, if you look at 2021, normally we'd get 3 Marvel movies a year, but they're giving us 4 Marvel movies this year, and the other 3 are all within a 4-month period. So you have September 3rd is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and then past October, but instantly November, 1 month after, you have the Eternals, and then not even a month after, not a month and a week, 5 weeks apart, you have Spiderman on December 17th, Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. And I just think, those dates, that just surprised me the most. We're getting that much Marvel all in a row. Is that even possible? Are they gonna have to delay these dates? If theaters still aren't open by then, what's happening with that? Are we gonna get a Disney Plus premiere release?
Yeah. I mean, my guess is probably what happened was, Black Widow definitely, and I think Shang-Chi were supposed to come out last year, but because of the whole situation last year, they got bumped to this year. But now they've decided to just release the same movies that were supposed to come out this year as well. So now they're just they're pumping them out, And I mean, even 2022, there's another 4 in 2022. They're a little bit more spaced out. But we're looking at March, May, July, and November in 2022. That's another 4 movies.
Yeah, you have March 25th for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and then skip April to May 6th, Thor Love and Thunder, and then skip June to July 8th, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and then you skip August, September, October, so a little bit more apart, for November 11th for the MAVELs.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, the interesting thing here is that the Eternals is coming out, and we have Fantastic Four at the bottom, both with no release date. So this is obviously, now that Marvel owns Fox, we're getting more integration of X-Men and Fantastic Four into the universe, which might be something bigger for maybe the next Avengers movie, who knows.
And so then 2023, what we have right now is everything else is a lot more spread out, seemingly, and maybe they're getting back to their 3 movies a year formula, because we have Ant-Man Quantumania on February 17th, so 2 months apart from the previous November release, and then you have May 5th, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is about 3 months from February, and then no date on Fantastic Four, as Wade has said. So who knows when that would be released? Probably their winter release, so sometime from October to December. But
yeah, and because as Blake said, that's definitely the more standard schedule. We normally used to see a movie sometime March, April-ish, and then we were seeing a movie May, June-ish, and then normally one November, December. So, getting into this, some of these movies I'm pretty hyped for. Probably the one that I'm most hyped for at the moment is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yup, I agree. I'd have to agree.
because Tom Holland's Spider-Man is just beautiful. And I mean, a couple weeks ago, me and Blake were memeing about what the new Spider-Man movie was going to be called. We were talking about it being called Spider-Man Homeless or Spider-Man Daddy's Home, and it was going to be a nice crossover in there. But we were on the right track because it's Spider-Man No Way Home. So, I mean, this is definitely interesting because if it's anything like the last Spider-Man, it's going to have something to do with Tony Stark or a little bit of Tony Stark stuff in it. Maybe setting up a little bit for end of phase 4, beginning of phase 5, and all that stuff going on with the next Marvel. So I think that's pretty cool. And I'm pretty hyped for that.
I mean, I just think that, like, I'm more excited for what's to come afterwards, right? Like, it's been, like, sure, the movie, it's been theorized that we're going to have Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. So you're going to have all these Spider-Man villains all in one movie going up against Spider-Man. And even though Mysterio was like a part of the Sinister Six and he's kind of out of the picture now with Spider-Man getting rid of him, his whole team could come back and basically act as him, or they could have a different version of it. But further than that, and the plot of Spider-Man and what they dropped at the very end of the last Spider-Man movie, they have a 3-contract, like, Spider-Man film movie with Sony. So, what's happening with that? Are they going to make a new deal? Is it done for Tom Holland's Spider-Man? For, like, the trilogy? They're ending it there, you know?
Yeah, because we don't see another Spider-Man in here. But I do know that in the details of Sony's contract, they have to release a Spider-Man movie every 3 years or else they lose the rights. So, I wouldn't be surprised. I know the Spider-Man movies have been, like, pretty lucrative for Sony, so I wouldn't be surprised if Sony decided to hold on to it. But I mean, we might see another issue where Spider-Man's going to leave the MCU because of the contract issues between Sony and Disney. I mean, the other 2 movies that I'm pretty hyped for are Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness,
Definitely,
as well as Guardians 3, because both of these, I believe, connect back into Endgame. So these are like kind of some of the outcomes of the end of Endgame that we still have yet to see years later. Like, Endgame came out 2 years ago and we're still waiting. We haven't seen, like, what's going on with Gamora, and Thor is going to be a part of the Guardians, I believe, in Guardians Volumes 3. I don't know if that's going to be set up in the Thor Love of Thunder movie as well. Like, I don't know what's going on there because that movie's coming out before Guardians 3. But as far as we know, Thor left with the Guardians at the end of Endgame. So are Guardians going to be in that Thor movie as well? Because that would also be pretty cool. Or is that Thor movie going to focus more on back at Asgard and what's going on there without Thor, now that Thor has decided to move on?
What, as in, like, New Asgard, you mean? Yeah. Like, down at the docks with Valkyrie in charge as the Queen of Asgard? See?
Yeah.
What I think I'm excited for is definitely Doctor Strange, because depending on what they do with Spider-Man No Way Home, they could also introduce the Spider-Verse and different Spider-Mans. That's a possibility that people have been theorizing a lot about. So maybe that's also how you get a Mysterio coming in, or how you get all these other Spider-Man villains coming in, because you could have all the Spider-Man villains in one. And then there's the prospect of, wait a minute, like, if Sony ever allowed it, you could have Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all in a Spider-Man movie. It's very ambitious, but it's still a possibility. And if they introduce that in Spider-Verse, there's a chance Spider-Man can be in Doctor Strange, Multiverses of Madnesses. And of course, Doctor Strange, he's the best of the best out of the Ancient One and out of all the wizards, or like the protectors. So obviously he's dealing with the protector of the multiverse. He's going to deal with Multiverse and Madnesses. And you also got what they did with the show in WandaVision. How WandaVision has her weird shaping magic, and at the end of credit scene, you hear her children that she created calling for her somewhere. So, are they in a different reality? Are they in a different multiverse? What's up with that? I know she is slated to be in Multiverse and Madness, so there's a lot of stuff going on in that movie that I don't know what it's going to be about, how it's going to unfold, but I'm very excited for it. So
yeah, and then the other thing too is we talked about when we watched the Shang-Chi trailer that we wondered if Shang-Chi had some connection to Doctor Strange, as it seemed like they were kind of connected with the Ancient One a little bit, and especially with the reference to rings. I mean, I don't know the history of the comics with Shang-Chi, but that kind of seemed like it might be connected. So if those two were connected, even just in the slightest way, that would be kind of interesting to see once Doctor Strange comes out. If we see Shang-Chi or somebody else from Shang-Chi, any involvement in those two movies together.
The one thing, is that since we don't have any Avengers movies, because the Avengers movies before were the crossover movies, where all the superheroes were together, and most of the time the movies were standalone. Until more recently, where in Thor, you have Thor and Hulk in it, and in the first Spider-Man movie, you have Spider-Man and Iron Man working side by side, and, all of this stuff. They just have a lot of more crossovers now, and the worlds are more, bleeding together. There's a lot more superheroes in one movie. Like I said, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has Doctor Strange. It's going to have WandaVision. There's a chance for Spider-Man, and there's a chance for Shang-Chi. So that's the thing. We don't have any Avengers movies, so with these new heroes being introduced, you have stuff like Shang-Chi super early, and the Eternals super early. So does that mean they have chances of showing up in the other movies? Probably. In some way.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, I would say probably the only movie on this list that's probably not going to connect to any other movie is Black Widow, because obviously,
yes.
Scarlett Johansson's done. This is her final movie as Black Widow.
It's like a prequel, basically. Yeah.
But, we will see, definitely, I think we'll see big crossovers between all of these movies coming together. And I'm definitely interested to see what they're doing with Fantastic Four. There was a lot of, theorization before Endgame even happened that the Fantastic Four were going to be involved in Infinity War and Endgame. However, that never really happened because the Fox reboot of Fantastic Four was so awful that everything just fell apart, and Disney didn't own the rights to Fox and wasn't able to get the rights, and there just wasn't enough hype around that. But I would definitely be interested to see is that going to become a bigger thing, the Fantastic Four? Are they going to try to tie it into the MCU, or are they just going to kind of keep it separate? Because X-Men and Fantastic Four have always been separate for the longest time, and now we can actually see those characters blending into the MCU with the Eternals and Fantastic Four, which would be kind of cool. Does the Marvels have something to do with Captain Marvel? I'm guessing?
Specifically, yes. Captain Marvel is one of the Marvels.
Okay.
And also, WandaVision.
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau, she gained powers because she had a history with Captain Marvel, and because of the radiation of going into Wanda's sphere, the Hex, multiple times, and she gained powers. And I searched up who she was, and from the comic books, she is one of the many iterations of Captain Marvel. So obviously Captain Monica Rambeau is going to be reprising her role in the Marvels. We're going to get Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers, and we may even get a third Marvel. So
I mean, the bigger thing I'll be interested about is Fury. Is Fury still being played by Skrulls? Is he still chilling up there? And how long has Fury been chilling?
Well, I think the end of credits scene we saw, right? He exactly. Who knows how long he's been chilling? When he went up there, if he's gonna come back. But I think he stood up and he was like, "All right, time to get back to work."
Yeah.
So who knows? Yeah, exactly. When Fury is going to intersect himself, because in the second Spider-Man movie, Fury seemed to be a big part of it, but it was actually just a Skrull. It was I forget his name, but it was actually just him impersonating Fury.
Yeah.
Talos. It
Yeah,
was just Talos impersonating Fury.
And finally, Black Panther, the second Black Panther movie? Yeah, second Black Panther movie. Obviously, this one, I believe that it was not filmed before Chadwick Boseman passed away, so who knows what is really going to happen in this one. I've heard that they're going to try to take it in a different direction, so I don't know who they're going to pick to become the next Black Panther. So I don't know a ton about Black Panther, so I don't know who they would pick out of that movie to be the next Black Panther. I had a couple ideas, but that's all I know from Infinity War. I thought that they might pick either the person that was like doing all the work on Vision, that like scientist person, or one of the tribe leaders that was leading the battle against against Thanos in Wakanda. I thought they might pick one of those people, but who knows? I mean, they might just totally introduce a completely new person. But I'm sure that they'll introduce something about like Black Panther isn't just a person. It's like it's like a thing, and like anybody can be it, which I'm guessing they will.
I mean, they could also be just putting Black Panther to rest, you know? Like, they could be wrapping up his storyline in honor of Chadwick Boseman, because it's called Wakanda Forever, which,
True.
I don't know, to me it sounds like it's like Wakanda will always be remembered, or like someone will, like, it sounds like a commemoration, almost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there is a chance that they could just put Black Panther to a rest for period, and then introduce some sort of new character that would take his place. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for this video. We got all the movies here. There's a lot here, folks. I believe the MCU released a video on their YouTube channel, so if you haven't seen that yet, you can go check that out. If you haven't seen the video that we did on Shang-Chi, that's also another good video. You can go check that out in the link in the description. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with the guy at Freshco, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Thank you guys for watching WBTV. If you want to see more videos like this one, click the video on the right. If you want to see skits, click the video on the left. And make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video.